Okay, so Meta has released a new video on what they think the future of VR is going to be like. And I thought it'd be interesting if we kind of looked at it together and also got my reaction to it. So far, based on screenshots that I've seen and based on what we're looking at here, it looks like they're in some type of medical setting. She looks like she's wearing some medical scrubs. She's got a new VR headset that looks a lot smaller than what we have today. It looks kind of like some of the prototypes I've been seeing of what Meta's been showcasing recently, maybe a little bit more advanced than those. It looks like it would have much smaller lenses. What we have now are called Fresnel lenses in the current headsets, which they're basically made out of plastic. They have several layers in them, but it does allow them to basically create lenses that are functional for VR, but also not very expensive to manufacture. But there's obvious drawbacks to Fresnel lenses. It has a lot to do with how light is refracted. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's look into it. We can discuss more afterward.
In the metaverse, a surgeon will one day be able to practice virtually as many times as needed before laying her hands on a real patient. The
That looks
metaverse
useful.
may be virtual, but the impact will be real.
Okay, so that's very short. So let's go over some of the things we're seeing here. Okay. So let's look at some of the things here. What do we notice? So it looks like we have some type of finger tracking going on here. It allows them to, I guess, interact with the virtual cadaver she's working on, or the virtual patient, probably a better way to put it. It looked like the person was still alive, the heart was beating. So that's interesting. I remember seeing some concepts of that being demoed by Mark Zuckerberg in certain screenshots in the past that they've shown. So that's an interesting idea. I noticed that it's just her fingertips. There's no glove. That's certainly much more advanced than what we have now. I have seen some things where they use just the fingertips, kind of like what you see in something like Minority Report. So that'd be interesting. I mean, I can see certain use cases for that. Obviously, I don't think it'd be that good for gaming, because how are we supposed to move without a thumbstick, or without some type of treadmill situation like we see in Ready Player One? But for this type of scenario, this would be a lot more useful than a controller. So that's interesting. Something else you notice is the headset. Let's look at that headset. So conceptually, it's a lot smaller, which would mean it'd have something like what they call pancake lenses, which are the lenses actually they debuted quite a while ago in the Gear VR, which was a shell-based VR platform that was originally released something like holiday 2014 or holiday 2015. Basically, if you remember, it allows you to slot your cell phone into that headset shell, and then allowed you to use your cell phone basically as a VR headset, as the screen for the VR headset. But the lenses in that were actually pancake. And they call it pancake because they're very, very thin. They are trying to move towards those. They're usually made out of glass, and they're a lot more expensive to produce than the Fresnel lenses. They have their own drawbacks, but they're generally seen to be superior. So that's interesting. I noticed that it's a single strap here. There's not one that goes over the top, but considering that this would be a lot less heavy, a lot less forward heavy, I could see how that would really work as a concept. Huh, that's interesting, because the way it's depicting that, let's back that up a little bit. Take a look at the lenses here. Yeah, that's interesting because these look a lot like what Fresnel lenses would look like. So that may just be that they're using a current headset or a current set of lenses to kind of make this cinematic effect. Hmm. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. Although I don't know why she's wearing gloves here, where in the other part she's wearing these finger tracked tips on her fingers. So that just might be for cinematic effect, showing you that visually that she's performing surgery on a virtual patient. So that's interesting. And I noticed it's got, well, it may also be AR based as well. So that's something that they could be demonstrating, is that this could also be a headset capable both VR and AR, AR being augmented reality. That's definitely something that Meta has been working on for quite some time. So that could be what they're trying to display here to the viewer. Visually, it's both a display of what they think future headsets will be like, and at the same time trying to convey that she's a surgeon. So that's interesting. Yeah, I really do think that there's a lot of use cases for this. I think that there has even been shown various studies that surgeons that use virtual reality to train, instead of using the traditional method, which is some type of dummy or even cadaver, that training with the virtual reality headset is just as effective. And in the case of using like a dummy to simulate surgery, those who use virtual reality actually learned it faster and retained those skills. So there's definitely a use case for what they're showing. And I think that it also demonstrates where headsets are going as far as design, how thin they can be, how compact they can be. So that's very interesting. And I think it's very impressive. And I'm excited to see it go there. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, gamers. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.